Hi, I'm Jennifer and this is Kate, and Lent 2023 is starting in just about 1 week.
So today we're sharing 7 easy Catholic 2-for-1 ideas to help us all have a holier Lent.
Okay, so first let's talk about that word easy, because Lent generally isn't considered to be an easy time, but it is a great time to dig a little bit deeper into your faith, and it doesn't have to be hard to do that. We think these 2-for-1 options make it a little bit easier.
So they combine the 3 pillars of Lent, fasting, almsgiving, and praying, with things that you're already doing to make it easier to remember to do them and to actually do them. So it creates a win-win situation going into Lent. And as a bonus, they require little to no advanced prep work. So let's go ahead and take a look at the list.
Okay, so number 1 on our list is to use the time that you are already at church to do something extra. So say, for example, you go to church with your kids, you're dropping them off for their religious ed classes. So instead of using that hour to run to Target or to the grocery store, maybe you could use some of that time to go into the church and pray the Stations of the Cross or say the Rosary.
Or if you're already at church for a Bible study or for some other event, maybe you could spend some time in the Adoration Chapel after, get in some extra time with Jesus. You're already there and you won't have to make an extra trip.
So the possibilities are endless with this one, and you could really get creative. It could even be something simple like, okay, every time I pull up into the church parking lot during Lent, I am going to say an extra prayer for my priest.
So number 2 focuses on one of the pillars of Lent. It focuses on giving alms, and that is to buy an extra can of food or 2 to donate every time that you go to the grocery store during Lent.
Yeah, because over the course of 6 weeks, if you're buying a can of extra food every time you're at the store, that is really going to add up.
And we think this one is pretty easy because we're pretty much all going to be at the grocery store at least a couple of times.
We're pretty sure that's going to happen
during Lent. So it's easy to pick up some extra food, a great way to give alms.
And there's a fun variation on this one that I think is great for families that have new teenage drivers. You know how your teenage drivers are always saying, oh, let me go, or I want to drive somewhere. Where can I drive? Well, send them to the store to buy food, to donate. This is a win-win for moms and for almsgiving during Lent.
So number 3 is to use the time that you spend exercising or doing chores to grow in holiness. And you can do that by changing what you're listening to. So you could listen to a Catholic podcast or an audiobook, or switch your regular music for praise and worship music or your favorite hymns.
Or you could also listen to the Rosary or the Divine Mercy Chaplet and pray along while you're out running or while you're doing laundry or emptying the dishwasher, because let's face it, during the next 6 weeks, we are all going to have to continue doing housework, right?
So by switching what you're listening to, you're picking holiness over your run-of-the-mill entertainment. So it's almost like fasting from that entertainment. So it's almost a triple play with this one. While you're doing that housework, you're also fasting and you're also praying.
Number 4 is maybe my favorite one on the list, and this is from a book called Holy Hacks, and that is to pray a line rosary. A line rosary happens this way. When you are standing in line at the bank or the grocery store or a fast food restaurant, say a Hail Mary for each person ahead of you in line. Isn't that an awesome idea?
Or you can apply it to the doctor's office or the dentist office. Say a Hail Mary for everyone who is waiting there with you. Or if you're really ambitious, you can also say a prayer for all the staff members who help you.
And then number 5 is to make a commitment during the 6 weeks of Lent to get to Mass on Sunday 15 minutes earlier, and then use that time to look at the Sunday readings and maybe reflect on them or meditate on them.
Or you could use that time to say some extra prayers for your friends, your family, your coworkers.
Now, we acknowledge the fact that being at church 15 minutes early is hard, especially if you have younger kids. But just because you're at church doesn't mean that you have to go into the church right away. You could easily sit in the car with your family and pray a decade of the rosary, or pray for the holy souls in purgatory, or pray for anyone.
Or you could do this outside if the weather cooperates. Most churches have benches or a prayer garden that you could use. So you're already going to Mass anyway, so it just takes a couple extra minutes to get there early and do some praying.
Number 6 is to keep a rosary or a prayer book or even the church bulletin in your car with you, so that next time that you're sitting there waiting for a store to open or waiting for a sports practice to be finished, you could use that time to do something holy.
We usually just kill that time by scrolling on our phones, but if we used these 6 weeks of Lent to pray or read, that would definitely help us grow closer to God.
Yeah, and you're already sitting there anyway, so choose a different option, choose something holy, and that is a great 2-for-1 activity for Lent.
So finally, number 7, Lent is a great time to go to confession. A lot of people make a point to go to confession at least once during Lent. So you could go to confession and then do something else, and then make confession a little bit of a special event.
Yeah, one way that you could do that is just to take 5 extra minutes to spend with Jesus. Maybe just sit before the tabernacle or stop in the adoration chapel.
Or you could light a prayer candle and say an extra prayer for someone. This one is very easy, but a lot of us forget about it or don't make the time to do it.
Yeah, sometimes we're in such a rush that we're just like, I said my penance, I'm gone. But also you could make your confession day a day to give alms. A lot of churches have poor boxes where you can just drop some money in, or you can make confession day the day that you take some of the food that you have been collecting.
And then afterwards, you could also do something fun for yourself, especially if you have kids. You could suspend the fasting for a little while and go get ice cream or a soda to celebrate God's love and mercy and being cleansed of all of our sins.
Okay, so that is a look at our 7 different 2-for-1 Catholic activities that we are going to be doing here during Lent.
So let us know down in the comments which one of these ideas you think might work for you. And also let us know if you have any 2-for-1 great ideas of your own.
So as always, we thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a very holy and blessed Lent, and we'll see you next time. Bye.